If you're looking to start your first SaaS business, then I recommend you start with a micro SaaS business. Micro SaaS businesses are for a specific person. They have one specific feature, and they're 10 times better than anything else in the market in solving a very specific problem for that person. When done right, micro SaaS businesses are the easiest to build, easiest to take to market, and easiest to start generating revenues. It's the best way to get your feet wet. And here's the best part. When you start a micro SaaS business and you start to get traction, you'll always have the option to up-level that idea and make it even bigger to a proper big boy SaaS business. Here's the big question though. How do you make sure you build a proper micro SaaS business? How do you pick the right idea? How do you make sure it's 10 times better than anything else in the market? How do you make sure you're building it for the right group of people? In this episode, I'm gonna walk you through 5 key micro SaaS ideas that are super underrated, but super powerful that I'm never gonna build, but I hope someone builds. And I'm gonna walk you through the exact principles that I always follow when building micro SaaS companies. It is my sincere hope that these 5 ideas actually inspire you. Maybe you'll build one of them. Maybe it'll inspire you to create your own idea. But it is my sincere hope that this helps you get started in building your first SaaS business. And when you follow these principles and get inspired by one of these ideas and take action, you will be able to become a founder of a proper SaaS business. Intro. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Unstoppable. I'm TK, and on this channel, I help SaaS founders like you grow your SaaS business faster with an unstoppable strategy. Now, if you're new to this channel, welcome. I drop an episode every single Sunday with actionable strategies and tactics from the trenches on how to start, grow, and scale your SaaS business faster. So if you're new, be sure to hit that subscribe button and that bell icon. That way you'll get notified every single time I drop an episode with the TK energy. Now, if you're already part of this community, if you're part of my SaaS go-to-market coaching programs, if you're a customer of one of my SaaS products, my people, welcome back. It's really awesome to see you over here. Now, I have this little problem. I have always loved micro SaaS business. And in fact, every single SaaS product I ever started off as the intention of building a micro SaaS business. But as soon as it started to hit product market fit, I realized that there was a bigger opportunity and ended up becoming a proper big boy SaaS business. This made me realize that whenever you're starting a SaaS company, one of the best things you can do is force yourself to build a micro SaaS product first, especially if it's your first one, because that allows you to get traction quickly, understand the market, get the momentum going, and then scale from there. And when you actually build a micro SaaS business, it gives you optionality. You can either choose to keep it a micro SaaS business, make it profitable and just print money, or you can actually up-level it to a bigger SaaS offering as you learn more about the market. Either way, it's a great way to actually get started. So in this video, I'm gonna walk you through everything that I've learned in the last 15 years of building SaaS companies, of starting micro SaaS products, of up-leveling those. I'm gonna walk you through the exact rules of the game of how to make a successful micro SaaS product. And then I'm gonna walk you through 5 underrated micro SaaS ideas that you can steal or be inspired by. If you're excited to dig in, go ahead and smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. It just loves it when you do that. Let's first dig into the rules of the game. Now, there are certain rules of the micro SaaS game. The number one rule for a micro SaaS product is it's for a specific user. So you really want to be targeting a very specific segment of the market, a very specific role, a very specific person that you can actually name, or ideally 10 of them that actually have a very specific problem. And that's essentially rule number 2. You want to be solving for a specific, urgent, and important problem that this user has. The third rule is you want to be charging at least $30 a month. The reason I like to charge $30 a month is it forces me to make sure that I'm solving a problem that is worth paying $30 a month. If you're doing a $9 a month product, it's okay, but it becomes harder to actually spend money on marketing down the line to grow it. So I like starting at a baseline of $30 a month and making sure that I'm building a product and solving a problem for a specific group of people that they're willing to pay $30 a month for. It essentially forces me to create a better product and solve a better, higher level problem. One more thing to understand about the problem you're solving is it needs to be urgent and important. If it's a problem that's a nice to have, if it's not a problem that they really need to be solving, then it's going to be harder for you to actually sell your micro SaaS product. Now, speaking of selling, you also want to make sure this is a self-service product, meaning People can start a free trial or pay and swipe with a credit card and actually pay for the product. You don't want any sales calls for this stage, for this type of micro SaaS product, because at $30 a month, you can never afford to hire a salesperson and the deal sizes are never big enough. So you really want to make sure it's frictionless and people can sign up, try the product, and sign up and pay for it themselves. And the last piece that you want to make sure for any new micro SaaS product is it is 10 times better than the competition. So right now, there's a lot of SaaS products out there. There's a lot of micro SaaS products out there. So if you're going to be getting into the game, one of the first things you want to make sure is it's an urgent, important problem. People are willing to pay for it. It's for a specific user. But also, if there are existing products solving that problem, the solution you create, the type of product that you create is 10 times better than anything else in the market. And the quick pro tip on how to get around this is to basically take traditional SaaS products that exist out there, traditional micro SaaS products, and add an AI component so it's a much better product, it's easier to use, and it does more of the work for them. That's a quick trick that I've learned as I've been evaluating different micro SaaS ideas that are out there in the market. So that's essentially the rules of the game for a successful micro SaaS business. You want to make sure it's going after one specific type of user. It's solving a specific urgent and important problem. You can charge $30 a month. It's self-service, no sales calls required. And whatever product you build is 10 times better than the competition. Those are the rules of the game. You do those things, you hold yourself to that bar. Honestly, your life is just going to be a lot easier. If you go below that bar, then you're just going to be going uphill trying to sell an undifferentiated product to a group of people that don't really want it. And no one wants that. With the rules of the game out of the way, let's now talk about the specific ideas that I have, the 5 underrated micro SaaS ideas that I have for you. Now, whenever I'm developing ideas, the reason I can quickly develop ideas and validate in the market is I always start with the market first. So first, I want to answer who. The second is what is the problem I'm solving for them. And the third is what is the solution. So that's how I'm going to break down developing these ideas. The biggest thing that I always tell pre-founders like you, and the thing that I would tell baby TK when he was starting out, is don't try to solve problems for people you don't know. So you should look within your existing network, your existing sphere, your own experience to understand the problem you want to be solving and who you want to be solving for. So I'll go with my own example. The who that I'm going to have 5 of these over here, 3, 4, and then 5. The who are the people that I'm most around, that I understand the most, that I also embody. So the first one is going to be founders. The second one is going to be salespeople because I spend a lot of time with salespeople. The third one is going to be marketing. I spend a lot of time with marketing. The fourth is going to be engineers because I code and I understand the space quite a bit. And the fifth is going to be YouTubers, because I am a YouTuber. So when you are listing out, and I encourage you to take a piece of paper and draw a bunch of boxes like this and write this out as I'm going, the first thing you want to be highlighting is who is this specifically for? Remember, micro SaaS businesses work best when it's for a specific person with one specific problem you're solving with one great feature that's 10 times better than the market. So the first thing you want to do is highlight specifically who you're going to be targeting. So for me, I know these 5 roles really well because I embody these roles. I am a founder, I am an engineer, I am a marketer, I do sales, and I'm also a YouTuber. So I understand the problem space. Don't go into solving problems for people that you don't know, that you don't understand, because again, that will be an uphill battle. You'll never be able to compete with others that are in that space, understands that problem, has spent 10,000 hours with those people. You want to focus on groups of people that you've actually spent time with or represent, and that way you'll actually understand the problems that they have. So once you have that in place, the next thing you want to do, and I'm going to use a red marker for this, is highlight the most urgent and important problem that you can think of. And in your case, if you're writing this out, you're following along at home, you can list out multiple problems. In my case, I already thought through this and I came out with 5 underrated ideas. So I'm going to walk you through those. So for founders, one of the top problems that they have is customer research. So when founders are starting to build a product or they're working to market their existing product, one of the biggest things they have to do is really understand their ideal customer. They need to understand what their lives are like, what their problems are. Kind of meta right over here. So one of the problems that they have to face is they have to Google, they maybe have to go to ChatGPT, they maybe have to read books, they maybe have to talk to 100 people to really understand the lives of the people that they're targeting. That's a common problem for founders. So in this case, you really want to be thinking about how to solve that problem with a 10x solution, better than anything else in the market. In this case, the solution that I came up with, the idea, the underrated idea that I came up with is an AI tool where you input a title of a role and out comes research on that title. This is super powerful because large language models have a lot of embedded training on different roles. So if you can create a product just for founders where it says, hey, give me the title of who you want to build products for, and I'll give you all the research I can find around them. You can even plug it into external data sources that have more data, like jobs to be done, or big challenges, or news items about that specific role. That is a really underrated micro SaaS product because it's one specific target audience, founders. It solves a one specific problem, customer research, and it can use AI and existing models to actually highlight enough inputs so they can go stress test it in the market. And that you could charge $30 a month. Maybe founders won't stay around forever, but they will stay around long enough to figure out product market fit for their own products. The second idea I had was for salespeople. Now, the biggest thing in sales, I've done enough sales calls, I've done enough sales, I've sold enough software, I've sold all kinds of different things. The biggest thing that salespeople struggle with is to understand objections in the sales process. At the end of the day, when you're doing a sales process, when you're doing a sales call, when you're trading emails, customers are either gonna buy or they're not gonna buy. But they're never gonna say no. What they're really gonna say is subtle objections. They're gonna share with you concerns. They're gonna share with you what are the things holding them back in subtle ways. So the idea that I have is you build an AI tool that looks at emails and looks at calls and identifies objections. So you can analyze all the data that exists for the sales communications that are happening for salespeople. Say, look, plug in your Gmail or plug in your Salesforce, whatever you want, or paste in your email thread or your chat transcript from your Zoom call, and we'll identify all the subtle objections that are happening in your sales process, and that way you can get ahead of it. This is one of the biggest things that sets apart the best salespeople and the worst ones. The worst ones get happy ears. They're like, oh, they're totally gonna buy. The best ones keep asking questions to understand the objections, but a lot of times objections come in subtle ways. So if you can train your AI model to actually analyze all the input data and highlight the objections, then you're gonna make a better salesperson. And the thing is, salespeople make a lot of money on commissions. So $30 a month is not so bad if it means they'll win that one extra deal on that commission. $30 a month is nothing compared to the commission check that they're gonna get. Let's go to the third micro SaaS underrated idea. Now, keep in mind, what you'll notice is I'm going after who first, then the problem, and then the solution. So for marketing, one of the biggest things, especially for content marketers, is finding out topics. Every day they have to write an email. Every week they have to create a YouTube episode or post on LinkedIn or write a blog post. A lot of times, while there are a lot of tools on how to create these things, they just struggle with what to write about. So the solution that I had to this problem is an AI tool that looks at their existing content that did well. They look at trends that are happening in their market, and they give ideas on topics to write about. There's a thing called trend jacking in marketing. It's where you look at what everyone's talking about and you contribute content to add to that trend. You hijack that trend. So if you can create an AI tool that identifies the trends that are happening for a particular customer, and you give the marketer topics on what to write about because it's trend jacking well, then you can actually have a really cool micro SaaS tool. And it will be differentiated in the market compared to the full tools that exist on how to do AI content. It's gonna be super specific, and it helps content marketers and marketers specifically get out of writer's block, which is super tough. Now, I have two more underrated ideas for you, but before I go to those, let me just pause here for a second. Are you starting to see the power in this? First, we covered the rules of the game. Then we talked about my framework on how I develop ideas. I first start with the market, then I highlight what the problem is for that market, and then I think about the solutions, and then I can go validate it. This is how I develop ideas. This is how I test ideas. And honestly, I've done this for so long, I do this intrinsically. The second-time founders and the third-time founders always think about the market and who it's for and the problem first before they think about an idea. So I'm giving you both here. I'm giving you the framework, and I'm also giving you concrete, underrated ideas that you can get inspired by or steal. If you're starting to see the power in this, if you're getting excited by one of these ideas, if you're starting to come up with your own ideas, can I just get a yes in the comments below? And also smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. It just loves it when you do that. Now, if you're in this stage where you are developing your SaaS idea and you want to actually get more users, you want to drive growth, you want to learn how to actually have a proper go-to-market strategy. So be sure to grab a complimentary copy of my 5-point SaaS growth strategy guide. You don't have to go anywhere right now. I'll tell you more about it at the end of this episode. I'll also link to it below. Let's go to the additional 2 ideas, the underrated ideas that I have. Also, smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm if you haven't already. It just loves it when you do that. And honestly, so do we. We put a lot of love into these videos. Okay, now for engineers, one of the biggest problems, I'm an engineer, I code, one of the biggest things we struggle with is edge cases. Edge cases is where you're building out a feature and you're writing code and you're doing some error handling, but you're not thinking about all the things that can go wrong. My solution to this is an AI tool where you give them code or you describe a feature or a workflow, and it highlights all the edge cases for you. So you basically say, look, I'm building this feature. It does this, this, and this, and here's the code. And you use a large language model to figure out, here are all the edge cases you need to be thinking about given the code and given the use case that you are actually building. I think this would be super powerful because typically what engineers have to do is they have to brainstorm the edge cases, or they have to push it to production, have users test it out, and then they come back with bug reports on the edge cases and they have to go solve it. But if you have a Micro SaaS tool that saves engineers time and makes them that 10x engineer that finds the edge cases right away, then you've got a $30 a month product because they'd happily pay for it. And then the last one, YouTuber. This is kind of a remix of the marketer one, but this is a lot more specific. Just to show you how you can play around with this, YouTubers have to create videos. They have to post content. They have to essentially publish an episode. And if you don't publish an episode consistently, then YouTube will not really reward you. So you have to be publishing consistently. One of the problems they have is they have to do these videos and they don't really know what the topic is. Now, in this kind of scenario with the marketers, I gave you the idea of trend jacking, looking at trends, looking at who you're targeting, and giving you topic ideas. One of the things that YouTubers do is they essentially look at what are the best videos that are similar to our channel of mine. This is something that's a very manual process, but you can automate it where you can analyze similar channels, and based on the videos that did well, you can suggest topics and you can link to those videos. You could use AI for this, or this could be just traditional analysis. The YouTube API is completely free, and you can build a really cool tool for YouTubers, and there's a lot of YouTubers. And you can say, look, we'll analyze your similar channels and we'll give you topic ideas and video ideas that have done well for others, and that way you can trend jack that or ride along that. So you can start to see where when you can change around the who, the problem could be similar, but the solution can be different. So you can play around with this. So those are the 5 underrated Micro SaaS ideas that I have for you. Now let's recap. First of all, here are the rules of the game for building successful Micro SaaS products. Number 1, it should be for a specific user, solving an urgent and important problem with one core feature. That's what makes for a great Micro SaaS product. It should be at least $30 a month. It should be self-service. And the feature that you create, the solution that you create, must be 10 times better than anything else in the market. Otherwise, you're kind of undifferentiated and it's not worth building. Based on that, the framework that I use to develop Micro SaaS ideas and SaaS ideas is first I look at who. Who am I solving for? You should pick people that you know or you are yourself. Otherwise, it's just an uphill battle. And then you want to highlight what is the problem that they have, what is an urgent, important problem that they have, and then you want to develop a thesis around the solution that you have. For my case, I came up with these 5 underrated Micro SaaS ideas that can make any amounts of MRR because these are solving urgent and important problems. So number 1, we said you could target founders, you could focus on their problem around customer research and build an AI tool that does customer research for them, or at least gets them started. Number 2, you can target salespeople, analyze their emails and their calls and highlight objections. Number 3, for marketers, you can trend jack and find out topics that they can use every single day, coming onto trends that are already in the news. Number 4, for engineers, you can look at their code, look at the workflow that they're building or the use case that they're building, and identify edge cases that they need to build for. And number 5, for YouTubers, you can look at similar channels and develop topic ideas and video ideas and episode ideas for them so that they actually create better videos. Those are the 5 underrated Micro SaaS ideas I had for you. If you're at this stage where you're like, okay, I want to run with one of these ideas, I need to actually test this in the market, I encourage you to check out my 5-point SaaS growth strategy guide. It includes all the key principles that you need to know on how to validate things in the market, how to scale SaaS companies, how to drive real growth and get the attention of your ideal customers as you build your product. So to get a copy, just go to getunstoppable.com/strategy. getunstoppable.com/strategy. It's completely free. It's some of my best content and it links to some of my other episodes. You're gonna get a ton of value from it. If you got value from this video, please smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. If you have a fellow co-founder that you wanna be building a company with, if you're part of a Slack group or WhatsApp group with other aspiring founders, please share this video with them. I wanna help as many aspiring founders as possible build incredible software companies. Also, I drop an episode every single Sunday with actionable strategies and tactics from the trenches on how to grow your SaaS business faster. So be sure to hit the subscribe button and that bell icon, and you'll get notified every single time I drop an episode. And lastly, remember, everyone needs a strategy for their life and their business. When you are with us, yours is gonna be unstoppable. I'm TK, and I'll see you in the next episode or inside the 5-point SaaS growth strategy guide. Take care, everybody. Founder where you are looking to become that best version. No, I didn't want to do that. Let's redo that part.